Welcome to SibSpot. Today's stories are more malicious compliance. Some of these people are pretty clever to get what they want or make a point. First story up is from Double Ender. No refunds once you've stepped out of the store? Fine, I won't step out of the store. This happens in a large store in a European country. When you purchase something from them, and for any reason want to return the item, their policy is that they never give money back. They only give you a voucher redeemable same day only. I went to the store today and purchased quite a long list of items. I got home, my wife looks at them and says we don't need some of them. I go back to the store, barely 20 minutes pass. The returns manager smiles as I tell her I just purchased these and would like to return them. She tells me that I stepped out of the store, so she can't refund. Only gives me a voucher and I must buy something else. I'd already bought everything I needed. Then she tells me to take the products home and keep them for the next time I would need to buy something. Then I can come in and get the voucher and redeem it. Imagine keeping a pair of shoes and a bowl and remember to bring them with you the next time you happen to need something. I tried to reason, but she was adamant. Those are the rules. You stepped out of the store, you don't get a refund. And then it clicked. I asked, so if someone wants to return an item without leaving the store, they get the money back? Yes. You see where this is heading. Malicious compliance kicking in. I asked to return the items and get the voucher. I take the voucher, get inside the store, find a product to exactly same amount. Buy it with the voucher. Right after the cashier, there's the returns manager. Straight from the cashier, I go to her. Hand her that random product I just bought and said, I would like to return this. I don't want it. And I never left the store. She is looking at me with barely contained rage in her eyes, I kid you not. The awkward pause was getting longer. And then her manager comes along. Looks at us and I smile at him and say, I never left the store and I would like to get a refund on this, please. He nods. Silent and not looking at me, she proceeds to refund me the money in cash. Company policy, right? This is definitely my favorite story. In his situation, I would be annoyed, and he found a loophole that made her give his money back. Why even have that kind of policy? It feels dishonest and pointless. It's like, thank you for shopping at our store, but no, we won't work with you to get your money back if you return something. It's really bad for customer relations. The next story is from Sarasil. You want to send me home? Sounds good. So I was a sarcastic and easily annoyed guy in my 20s, and this often didn't help me get along with older or corporate types. I was working at a certain pumpkin-colored big box home improvement store one spring in the flooring department. It was just starting to get warm out and the store didn't have much AC, so I was looking forward to a magical date where certain employees were allowed to switch their pants for shorts. Problem is that we had a new department manager. I'll call him Bob, who was aggressively chasing a promotion to assistant manager, then store manager. He thought he could accomplish that by being a super-by-the-book jerk and being relentlessly metrics-focused. This translated into a manager who was a know-it-all, micromanaging jerk. Anyway, I'm scheduled to open at 5 a.m. one day on the fabled day of cooler bottom wear, and I walk in all light and airy, bare-legged. Bob, who was overnight manager the previous night, saw me and threw a fit. "Why are you out of uniform?" he asked. "I'm not. I can wear shorts starting today," I proclaimed. "Not your position in your department. Who told you that you could?" he retorted. "The employee handbook and SOP?" "I can show you if you don't believe me," I offered. "I know the SOP, and your department doesn't get to wear shorts. That's only garden. Go home and change right now," he demanded, face getting redder from my defiance. "Okay, Bob, if that's how you want to play it. I'll be back in an hour," I sighed. Maybe the loss of an hour pay will teach you something. So I know better. The reason I know better is because I'm one of the weirdos who actually read the entire standard operating procedure document, the employee handbook, which is actually just a subsection of the SOP. And I really hate being wrong, so I check the SOP before doing anything different day to day. In my store, the SOP was like invoking God. If the SOP said so, that won every single argument. So I go home, change into pants, but bring my shorts back to work with me. By now, Bob's shift is over, and I asked the new morning manager on duty, Darren, to meet with me. Why? What's up? Oh, just a SOP issue. Oh. Okay, give me like 10 minutes? So I swung by my desk and printed out several things. 1, my latest pay stub that included my official job title and department number. 2, the company directory that listed the departments' names and their associated numbers. 3, the SOP that dealt with when and which department employees can wear shorts. 4, the annual email from the regional VP confirming which departments could wear shorts starting when, which also included the line, and this letter is to be posted at the time clock between the dates of XXXXXX. 5, the SOP dealing with the company transportation and mileage reimbursement policy. 6, a Google Maps route that mirrored the route I take to and from work with the total mileage highlighted. So I meet with Darren and explain what happened and handed him each page in turn as they became relevant. At the end, we agreed that I was right on every single account and asked me what I wanted. 1, I wanted the time. I was turned away before I could clock in, so I want to be paid starting at 5 a.m. Feel free to check the CCTV if you want to confirm when I arrived. 2, I want the mileage, because Bob sent me on essentially a company errand with my own vehicle through no fault of my own. 3, I want this letter posted at the clock like it says it's supposed to be. 4, I want you to talk to Bob about this, because I told him this was the SOP before he sent me home. 5, I'm changing back into my shorts. All of that sounds more than fair. Get the paperwork for the clock adjustment and mileage to me today, and I'll sign it. The letter mysteriously went missing from the time clock the next day, but I replaced it every day until I happened to see Bob angrily snatch it off the board and throw it away. I reported that as well, and the letter stopped going missing. He didn't talk to me much, and I was transferred to another department a month later. So all in all, win-win, I think. This is why it's great to know your handbook and standard operating procedures. If a manager irritates you, it's possible to just go over their head and get your way if you're sure they're in the wrong. The next story is by Dancing Fruit. I have to pretend to be you? Basically, 15-year-old me was bullied back and forth into doing homework for other people and having people copy off my tests. I know people will say, why didn't you stand up for yourself? But reality is, counselors in our school would pull a Bible verse on you and call it a day and tell you, you need to pray more. Such is misery. So yeah, one time, one of the kids who basically pretended to be my friend for good grades was always missing from class. Skipped school, the whole, I'm sick and I hate it here, and she refused to come in. She missed so many exams, too, because of it. Teachers had adjusted to her behavior, and somehow, after-school makeup exams or special exams were given to those who missed them. She begged me to go in for one, which was being proctored by a sub who didn't recognize me as myself. So I got into her seat, wrote her name, and failed her exam for her. A perfect 0%. It didn't stop her from other bullying things, but I made sure the exam reflected what she learned in class. Absolutely nothing. I know it sounds cliché, but cheating on tests hurts no one but the cheater. They may pass the test, but their lack of knowledge generally will fail them at a later day. Since this girl was a bully, she got what she deserved by the sounds of it. The following story is from Camo Master 74. Roommates set the thermostat to 50 degrees Fahrenheit when it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit outside. For context, I share a 5-bedroom home with 4 other small families. My neighbors are from a Spanish-speaking country and don't know English very well. The language barrier is large between us. The way this house was built in 2015 does not allow for very good ventilation between rooms or floors. Additionally, the HVAC system does not have thermometers in each room. Instead, it's combined with a thermostat, one of which is located in the hall I share with my neighbors. It reads 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius on average, but that's with both bedroom doors closed. Thus, the temperature in either one of our rooms can vary drastically. Since we share a thermostat, you can see where this is going. The landlord has expressed his wishes to keep the thermostat above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius, as long as it's colder than that outside. Easy enough, open the window when it's hot and close it when it's cold. My desk is next to both of our windows, so that's primarily been my responsibility. Both parties tend to avoid conflict, so we haven't discussed this face to face, or even through text. Every so often, my roommate and I will notice that it's uncomfortably hot or cold. Every time we've checked the thermostat, it's been set to either 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius, or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. Naturally, we set it back to a cool of 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius, and heat to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Apparently, this does not suffice for our neighbors. They have been, over the past month, continuously setting the thermostat back to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius, when it's even below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius outside. But here's the kicker. The AC wasn't even running until yesterday. The air coming out of the vents has been cold because most of our HVAC system is in an uninsulated garage. This knowledge was gifted to us by the landlord, who also doesn't speak Spanish, and he assumed we would pass the information to our neighbors. Yet again, as predicted, they set the thermostat to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. But this time, we let it run like that all night, making sure to grab all the blankets from the shared laundry room. Remember, when the temperature in a room changes while the door is closed, the thermostat can't tell until the door opens. They sleep with their door locked. So, all night, the HVAC system was blowing frigid air into their room. We woke up the next morning with the thermostat set to 66 to 70 degrees. Sweet, sweet victory. I know this is petty, but oh man, is it nice to have a comfortable temperature to sleep in. Man, it sucks having a shared thermostat. People are all comfortable at different temperatures, I swear. This is a pretty extreme example, as these people had it set to way too cold or way too hot. They mentioned they avoided discussing it face to face, so I can't help but wonder if they could have resolved it sooner than later if they'd just talked. Ace Toto, that's it. All done for today. More tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Until we meet again, have a stellar day.